So we know like calcium, as you said, like it is present in bones and teeth, and it helps in the development of bones and teeth. And there is a crystal that is hydroxyapatite crystal,
Hydroxyapatite.
very important for the hardening of the bones and teeth. Okay, beta. So
Okay,
osteoblasts are
ma'am.
bone forming cells, and osteoclasts are bone eating cells, which are concerned with demineralization. Okay. So calcium is concerned with the muscle contraction. It is fourth clotting factor. Hence it helps in blood coagulation. It helps in neurotransmission. It helps in membrane integrity and permeability. That means cell membrane strength is maintained by calcium, and substances across the cell membrane are also transferred with the help of calcium. So other activation, see, there are some enzymes which are called as metalloenzymes, which may contain calcium in its component, or it is calcium is needed for direct activation of certain enzymes, okay, such as lipase, ATPase, succinate dehydrogenase. Then calmodulin is calcium binding regulatory protein beta, which actually activates certain enzymes like adenylate cyclase, calcium dependent protein, and kinases. Okay, so calmodulin mediated action of calcium. That means calmodulin protein is being actually activated by the presence of calcium. Okay, then here we have. So calcium as intracellular messenger. That means second messenger is cyclic AMP, CAMP. So for the activation and smooth functioning of cyclic AMP, that is second messenger, we require the intervention of calcium. Then certain release of certain hormones like insulin, parathyroid hormone, calcitonin, okay, is facilitated by calcium. So calcium regulates secretory processes. Secretory means like secretion of enzymes, secretion of hormones from a cell. You call it a secretory process. Okay. So endocytosis, exocytosis, and cell motility. Then contact inhibition. Calcium is believed to be involved in cell-to-cell contact and adhesion of cells in tissue. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Cell to cell membrane communication may also require calcium. Okay. So action on
Okay, I think the cadherins, called cadherins.
cadherins. Yeah. Very good. Then action on heart, like any other muscle, even heart is also one of the muscle only, no, cardiac muscle. Here also calcium is required for muscle contraction. Okay. So action on
Okay, ma'am.
myocardial and prolonged systole. Okay. So this was the first part of the question to describe the functions, right? So once the functions are done, what is the second part of the question? Functions, hormonal regulation, right? Yeah, hemohism. So now, after that, what are the various hormones which are actually regulating? See, as Imad was telling us.
The parathyroid hormone, calcitonin.
Yeah. Yeah, plasma calcium levels in the blood are 9 to 11 milligrams per deciliter, and these levels are always maintained constant. Okay, so the hormones which are increasing the blood calcium levels are parathormone, okay, and also calcitriol. Calcitriol is active form of vitamin D. Okay, so in the presence of this parathormone, calcitriol actually helps in the absorption of intestinal calcium. That's how it increases the blood calcium levels. Okay, then parathormone, it also causes renal tubular absorption of calcium. That means PTH and calcitriol, that is active form of vitamin D, they are actually involved in increasing the levels of blood calcium levels. Okay, then there is a hormone which is called as calcitonin beta, which is given in black letter here. So which is coming from dash
Parafollicular cells, C cells.
parafollicular cells of thyroid gland. So this calcitonin actually reduces the plasma calcium levels. Okay. So for the increase of, see, if our body is in immediate need of calcium, and though if we have not taken in the diet, the best source will be our bone. The bone gets dissolution of bone, resorption, bone resorption. That means the bone dissolves and gives calcium into the blood circulation. for which we have osteoclastic activity going on, and PTH will be working to dissolve the bone and to increase the calcium levels. Okay, already if calcium levels are high, in order to lower it, you will see calcium goes and gets deposited into the bone, helps in the bone formation. There you will see this calcitonin will be working to reduce the blood calcium levels. Okay, so this whole thing is described under the hormonal regulation beta, biochemical functions of calcium and hormonal regulation of plasma calcium. Just 1 minute. So, okay, beta. So, this is all about calcium. So, after calcium, what is the next question we have? Synthesis of
Synthesis of DNA synthesis.
in detail. Okay, fine. If I scroll from here, it's getting stuck. I'm afraid I don't want to lose connection unnecessarily. I'll go like this. Just tell me the page number, no, Ritika? Nearby page number. So eukaryotic DNA synthesis is the usual question which we are supposed to write. Replication, right? Synthesis of DNA. Okay. Tell me page number, please, beta. I'm afraid if I move this way.
Okay, okay.
Ritika, are you there with us?
Ma'am, it will come under replication, right?
No, beta. DNA. Replication.
In my book it is 524.
524. Okay, it will be nearby. I think next chapter from.
Yes.
Yeah. So see here. Replication of DNA. What does it mean? See, that means from the parent DNA, two daughter DNAs are formed. That's what is replication. Process in which DNA copies itself to produce identical daughter molecules. Now see here, this parent DNA, one coil is shown in blue color and the other coil is shown in green color. So there will be uncoiling of these DNA strands, and one strand is moving to one side, the other strand is moving to, like as though they are uncoiling themselves, and the uncoiled part will carry certain nucleic acids, no, like adenine, guanine, thymine, cytosine. Okay, so based on that, you will see the base pairing will occur and correspondingly daughter strand will be formed based on the arrangement of these nucleic adenine, guanine, thymine, cytosine. Based on those arrangements, you will see the complementary strand will form, and you will see that single stranded DNA becomes the double stranded. So how does it occur? For replication, we have to check. See, here we have explanation for prokaryotes and also we have eukaryotes. So prokaryotes you need not study. Prokaryotes is the one which usually takes place in bacterial cell, okay, which is a primitive type. Okay, but here in this prokaryotes, I want everyone to learn about Okazaki pieces better. The small fragments of discontinuously synthesized DNA are called Okazaki pieces because Okazaki pieces itself may come as 3 marks or 5 marks question. Okay, that means bits, pieces of DNA molecule is called Okazaki pieces. Okay, then, so generally 2 strands are there. No, one is the parent strand and the other is the daughter strand. So these are produced on the daughter strand, that is the lagging strand of the parent DNA. Parent DNA is already carrying all information, isn't it? So the lagging strand is actually coming in bits, and ligase will be there that comes and binds these fragments. Okay. So Okazaki pieces are later joined to form continuous of DNA. So DNA polymerase 1 and DNA ligase are responsible for this process. Details now we are going to study in DNA replication because it has come as an essay, and I want you to study this Okazaki pieces as a separate question. Now see here, beta, this is the parent strand. Suppose, of course, this is shown in prokaryotic, but you can draw this for eukaryotic also. So one is 3', 5', and the other is 5', 3'. Now you are finding this is one fragment This is one more fragment. So they are labeled as what beta? Okazaki pieces. You are finding them on lagging strand, right? So as the
Yes.
synthesis occurs, you will see the DNA polymerases and ligases will come and just fix it, glue it. Okay, newly synthesized DNA looks like this. Okay, beta? So this
Okay,
we
ma'am.
are going to discuss in detail as we proceed now. See, for the replication, your answer should begin here, beta. You can put a star in your book. Replication in eukaryotes, put a tick for this essay. From here, you start and till here, histones word is given. No? Till here, you have to give complete details. I'll explain you now. Inhibitors, you can just give the names of the drugs which we use to stop the replication. Okay, you need not go much in detail. Inhibitors. Now, see here, now when you are starting, see, replication in eukaryotes, that means human cell and advanced cells, they are called as eukaryotes. So we have in eukaryotes, the various enzymes, 5 different DNA polymerases are seen, which are helping in the mechanism of replication. One is DNA polymerase alpha. It is responsible for the synthesis of RNA primer. Primer means I will show you. That means the Okazaki pieces are being synthesized by this, okay, which in both leading and lagging strands. That means in the daughter strands of DNA. Then DNA polymerase beta is involved in the repair of DNA. Suppose during the process of daughter DNA strand synthesis, something may go wrong. So that is being corrected by DNA polymerase beta. So its function is comparable with DNA polymerase T found in prokaryotes. Then we have DNA polymerase gamma. It participates in the replication of mitochondrial DNA. That means inside mitochondria also replication takes place. So there the enzyme working is gamma. Then we have this is delta, right? Responsible for the replication of leading strand of DNA process. It has proofreading activity. We will see now. Then polymerase, this epsilon is involved in DNA synthesis of lagging strand and proofreading function. So once you write about these 5 polymerases, then you should learn what is happening here. Okay, so now if you just observe this strand is parent strand, okay, which has all genetic information, okay, which has been shown in 3 prime, 5 prime direction, okay, then you are finding all these are actually proteins, RPA. What is the full form of RPA? You can check here. These proteins are replication protein A. So these proteins are actually helping for the daughter strands to grow. And as the daughter strand grows, you can see these proteins disappear. And at the end, you do not find any proteins at all. Stepwise, I'm telling you. Now see here. Now the base pairing has started from 3 prime direction. Okay, in case of daughter strand, and you are finding pieces have come. Those are small fragments of DNA which are called as Okazaki fragments have come here. And RNA primer is just pulling it. Okay, it has joined from 3 prime direction. It has also joined from 5 prime direction. So this RNA primer, so DNA polymerase alpha primase complex. So RNA primer, Okazaki fragments, they are all help in the base pairing. Okay, ATGC type of base pairing. So this is
Okay.
replication factor C, and PCNA is proliferating cell nuclear antigen. Okay, so they are acting as though they are drivers of this strand. Okay, RNA primers, so that base pairing is occurring in both the directions. And finally, you can see the DNA polymerase delta, all these polymerase nuclei antigen factor, all those are working and they are just see, you can see they are moving towards each other. And finally, the daughter strand is meeting, and the place where they are meeting, you are finding it is being bind one by what is the enzyme which is acting like a glue, DNA ligase. Okay.
Ligase.
Okay. So this is this thing, these details are given here in this paragraph, and you just go through this paragraph in detail, taking the help of the diagram that will help you to write your complete answer. In case if you don't want, suppose cancer cells are there, what happens in cancers? Nothing but excessive multiplication of cells is nothing but cancer, right? So in case of cancer,
Yes, ma'am.
you don't want cells to multiply. So you give certain drugs, right? So what are the various drugs you know, beta? Like cyclophosphamide is one anti-cancer drug. Like many other drugs are given here. Like antibiotics are also there, which will not allow the multiplication to occur, bacterial multiplication. Ciprofloxacin, hmm, novobiocin, nalidixic acid. Like few examples are given. Beta anti-cancer drugs here. The other names like 6-mercaptopurine, 5-fluorouracil. These drugs will not allow the DNA to multiply, and you will not see any cell multiplication. So, yeah. So if you don't want multiplication, we depend on these drugs. Okay, beta?
Okay, ma'am.
Then see, back to back he gave now tRNA structure and function. It has come from chemistry. Just open this nucleotides chapter, beta. 4th or 5th chapter we have, right? Some water.
Yes, ma'am. tRNA.
Got it, beta? Clover leaf model.
In my book, it is page number 550, ma'am.
I didn't understand.
It will come under the protein biosynthesis chapter.
Okay, beta. What's the page number, Imad?
In my book, 550.
550. No, beta, it's only structure, no? So you can go with chemistry. Okay.
Okay.
Chemistry part is given very good, beta. We'll go with chemistry.
Okay.
Yes, beta, this one, this chapter, you remember? Okay. So we have, what are the various types of DNAs we have, beta? Sorry, RNA, mRNA, tRNA, and RNA. Isn't it? Now we are being asked the structure of tRNA. mRNA is RNA, tRNA is transfer RNA, and rRNA is ribosomal RNA. Three work together in protein biosynthesis, no? The mechanism of translation.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So now he has asked, this is very popular question, but frequently this question will be asked. You're finding structure of transfer RNA. So this model is called as clover leaf model, beta. Okay. So in this clover leaf model, actually RNA is, any RNA is single stranded. Like see, the DNA is uncoiling itself, and the one strand which gets separated is nothing but coming out like mRNA. That means one of the strand of DNA only is acting as RNA. So obviously it will also have all nitrogen bases, isn't it? So what are the various nitrogen bases we have in RNA? Adenine, guanine, uracil, and cytosine. That means instead of thymine, we have uracil as the nitrogen base, isn't it, better? So this is only one single strand, but it is coiled on itself in such a way as though it looks like a clove leaf. Okay, so that's what is clover leaf model. So one end is 3' direction, the other end is 5' direction. Because transfer RNA is concerned with transfer of amino acids during the process of translation. Here you have the sequence of nitrogen bases, like you have adenine, cytosine, and cytosine. That means, for example, it's only an example, not correct. So if it, suppose if it is coding for lysine, so lysine will come and bind in this anticodon region, and now they will start moving in the cytoplasm, and they will move towards ribosomes, where ribosomal RNA is present, and the amino acid will be added there to form a polypeptide chain. Like that, that means how many amino acids are there arbitrarily? We have around
20 types.
20 types of amino acids. So that means correspondingly we should have 20 tRNAs also to identify each amino acid and to bring it to the site of protein synthesis. But do you remember Google hypothesis? That means one tRNA.
Yes, ma'am. Degeneracy of
Degeneracy
an
of
amino acid is coded by more than one codon.
one more than.
Degeneracy of genetic code.
Yeah, that means here such code words may be many. That means 3 or more tRNAs also may be coding for same amino acids. That means what? The number of tRNAs are 3 times more usually than the number of amino acids. Okay, see here. See, transfer RNA molecule contains 71 to 80 nucleotides. Okay, molecular weight is 25,000. Okay, we have, you know, like we have 20 amino acids, and he is now just describing the structure. Like this is the amino acid area, and this is anticodon region. This is acceptor arm. This is called as D arm, complementary base pair. Just look at this T size, it is called as variable arm and all. So that has been described here, and just read once. Okay. So that is all about tRNA beta. So the tRNA structures and classes of immunoglobulins beta. Immunoglobulins, Ritika, what are the various types of immunoglobulins? What is the code we have framed for easy memory?
IgA, IgD, IgE, IgG, IgM.
Very good.
AMD.
AMD, very good. Okay. IgG, IgA, IgM, IgE, and IgD. Ritika, can you just write the page number in chat box, beta? Immunoglobulins, because your page number, my page number are similar. Immunoglobulins are also proteins only. Immunoglobulins are nothing but antibodies, isn't it? So from where are they produced? B lymphocytes. From where are the B lymphocytes produced? Bone marrow.
The bone marrow.
Yeah. Lymphopoiesis, which takes place in bone marrow. Okay. And the growth and maturation you will see occurring in the lymph nodes, no? Germinal center. I got it, page number 186 beta. Okay, thank you. I will scroll slowly only beta because this, see, it is somehow not working smoothly. We'll try to start Google Meet beta. That would be better. I'm not getting recording option there. I'm not finding time to make the settings. Is there any other app beta for easy delivery of lectures? Okay. Immunoglobulins. See, first of all, as you said, immunoglobulins are nothing but antibodies which are actually important for killing of microorganisms, bacteria and all, isn't it? So first of all, you draw the structure of immunoglobulin. Okay, it has one light chain which is marked like this, and the heavy chain which is quite big. This is one heavy chain, this is one more heavy chain. These are the two light chains. Okay, so you have disulfide bonds. One end is the amino end, the other end is carboxy end. Okay, you have this the disulfide linkages. These are actually called as hinges which help in easy movements of the immunoglobulins. Okay, try to learn this picture because it, of course, the structure is also equally important. Then remaining details of immunoglobulins, you just learn this table and you can write everything. GAMD is the code. IgGAMED. Anything, D, anything, whatever is easy for you. It has heavy chain called as, suppose if it is IgG, this is gamma, light chain may be kappa or lambda. Okay, these are the words used. The molecular weight is given, formula is given. How much percentage of carbohydrate IgG has? 3%. How much is the serum concentration of IgG? 800 to 1500 milligrams per deciliter. So what is the function of IgG? Mostly responsible for humoral immunity. Humoral in the sense, the immunity which is mediated by the release of antibodies. So in whichever areas we require humoral immunity, most of the times you will see IgG is released there. The highest concentration among all you can see here is G only. Okay, beta? So like that, you can also learn the other immunoglobulins. Okay. Ritika, can you please write the page number of urea synthesis, beta? Imad, meanwhile, you also please check the
Which question, ma'am?
Yeah,
Urea cycle.
urea cycle. Very simple. Just asking you the steps. Tell me what is the first thing which enters?
Ammonia and carbon dioxide. Ammonium
Yeah.
and carbon
Yeah,
dioxide.
very good. Very good. Okay. Any question? I'm just checking what are the other questions so that without wasting time, whichever question comes, I'll just discuss that answer. Did you find the page number?
1 second. Page number 339 in my book.
NAG, what is the full form?
N-acetyl glutamic acid.
Okay. Does it take any part there in the cycle?
NAG.
First step.
Ma'am, first step is ammonia and carbon dioxide. They combine to form carbamyl phosphate.
Okay, carbamyl phosphate. Okay, what is the next step?
After that, carbamyl phosphate in the presence of ornithine transcarbamylase gives citrulline.
Okay. Yes, but please tell all the steps till I open the page. It will be a practice for you also.
Citrulline in the presence of arginosuccinate synthesis gives arginosuccinate. Arginosuccinase gives arginine and fumarate.
Okay.
Arginase on arginine gives unithine urea. Sorry, ornithine and urea.
Okay. See here you have NAG beta, what I said. Imad, look at the screen. Carbon dioxide plus ammonium ion in the presence of this NAG. In the presence of carbamyl phosphate synthase, it gets converted to carbamyl phosphate and all these steps. NAG is N-acetyl glutamate, what you said. Okay. So that means initially 2 ATPs are utilized. Okay. So this is urea cycle. He's just asking us to enumerate the steps. That's it, beta. It's a 5 marks question.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Okay, beta. Blood buffers. What are blood buffers, beta? Bicarbonate buffer, phosphate buffer.
Phosphate buffer.
Okay. So what is buffer? Tell me page number also, please.
Okay, 1 second.
So bicarbonate buffer, you have one derivative, also one long formula to be derived. So bicarbonate buffer will not allow the pH changes. So what is the normal pH of the blood?
7.4
to 7.6. So the pH is always maintained constant. Is it?
On page number 476.
Okay. Renal clearance test, you know. Name essential amino acids, beta.
Valine, methionine, tryptophan, phenylalanine,
Yeah.
isoleucine, leucine, lysine.
There is a code also, no, for you to remember.
Uh,
AV Hill MPTT.
okay, ma'am.
That code also will help you to remember. What is the page number you said, beta?
475, 476.
Okay. Where do you see bicarbonate buffer and where do you see phosphate buffer? Which is the efficient buffer? Extracellular
Bicarbonate
buffer.
is more, I think.
Extracellular buffer is bicarbonate buffer, right?
Yes.
And intracellular buffer is phosphate buffer. And actually, intracellular buffer, phosphate buffer is much more powerful, in fact. But it is present inside the cells. That's why its active role is not seen in our body, isn't it? And even plasma proteins, they also act as buffers. Albumin, globulin, prothrombin, fibrinogen, isn't it? They also act as
Yes,
buffers. Okay. 476 page, right? Oh, the best
yes.
thing about Sia book is that here you have page numbers, beta. 476
Okay.
is your page, right, Imad?
Yeah.
Okay. That means new edition you gave. Anyhow, it will be nearby only. So as you said, blood buffers we have, phosphate buffers we have, protein buffers we have. Okay, so in the blood buffer, first is bicarbonate buffer. It is nothing but sodium carbonate and carbonic acid. It is the most predominant extracellular buffer which is found in the plasma. So through series of steps, you derive this formula, no, beta H2CO3, which is carbonic acid, it splits into H plus and HCO3 minus. Okay, according to the law of mass action and all, you can just come to this derived formula. So pH is nothing but pKa plus log base by acid. I've explained many times. Should I explain once again?
No, ma'am, that has Henderson Hasselbalch equation
Simple
already
mass.
covered.
Yeah, simple mass.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
pH is equal to pK plus log salt by acid.
Yeah.
Base by acid.
Yeah, base by acid. So you see here, base, no, actually he gave you the concentrations of each, like bicarbonate concentration is 24 and carbonic acid in a solution, and then you will see all values you are supposed to submit here, beta. So like pKa is 6.1 plus log and bicarbonate is 24 and H2CO3 is 1.2. So if you simplify, it is 6.1 plus log 20. That means base is more or acid is more. See, base by acid. Base is 24 and acid is only 1.2. That means what? Base is almost 20 times more than acid in our blood. Because most of the times, like you have studied in the previous class, ketone bodies, like acetoacetic acid, beta hydroxybutyric acid. In like in Corey's cycle, you have also talked about lactic acid, isn't it? That means most of the end products of our metabolisms are acids. So in order to neutralize the acids, the concentration of base in the blood is high. That is around 20 times more when you compare with acids. Okay, that's what is called as alkali reserve. Okay, so as soon as acids are produced or generated in the body, they are being neutralized by means of this bicarbonate buffer system. So phosphate buffer system is made up of sodium dihydrogen phosphate and disodium hydrogen phosphate. This is intracellular buffer. Had it been in the blood, that is extracellular, it had been much more powerful, but we find it inside the cells. Like its action is not as much well pronounced as you see in the blood, that is outside. Apart from that, protein buffers, we have nothing but plasma proteins. Okay, they account only 2% of total buffering capacity. So that is all about blood buffers. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Then renal clearance test. Page number 462 beta for you, Imad. C is equal to
Yes, ma'am. C is equal to UV by P, inulin clearance test and urea clearance test.
yeah, for
Creatinine
E
clearance.
clearance test, we use this formula only, no? That's why he has used, what is the dye which is used?
Evans blue.
What is the dye which is used for renal clearance test? But I could not get.
I think Evans blue.
Evans blue. What is the most other popular one? Inulin, no? Inulin.
Okay, inulin.
Inulin clearance.
Yes, ma'am.
We can use para-aminohippuric acid, all these things, but this is quite popular, that is inulin dye. Okay, but anyhow, foreign things we should avoid injecting, because we never know what goes wrong anytime, and they may cause some immune reactions. Okay, they may remain in the blood and they may cause some damage. Always it's wise to go with which clearance test? What is the
Inulin clearance.
inulin is outside, no beta. Injecting a dye which is not always safe. Among the clearance test, there is some chemical substance which is produced within our body.
Okay.
You just name the various clearance tests we have.
Creatinine clearance test.
Creatinine, urea clearance, uric
test.
acid clearance. Among these, which is the standard one?
Urea clearance.
No, beta. Creatinine. Creatinine is
okay.
also
Creatinine.
standard.
Okay.
Because creatinine, how is creatinine produced? It is produced due to muscle contraction. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
As an end product. So if creatinine, once it is produced in the blood, it is filtered in the glomerulus. It is nowhere reabsorbed in the renal tubules. It is nowhere secreted in the renal tubules. Suppose if it is 10 milligrams per day, which is filtered in the glomerulus, same 10 milligrams will come out in the urine. That means it is neither secreted nor reabsorbed in the renal system. That's why it's quite standard to go with creatinine. Okay, urea, a part of urea may be reabsorbed in the renal system, that is in the tubular system. Uric acid also we have same things, but that is always good better. Okay, so we have a formula, that is C is equal to U into V by P. So clearance is creatinine. Whatever I have described is written here, but I just read once. Traditional method where U is standing for urine concentration of creatinine, V is standing for urine output in ml per minute. That means in 24-hour urine volume divided by 24 into 60. Then plasma concentration of creatinine. If you substitute this, you will get the concentration of creatinine in the urine. Like, then you have a reference range. It should be around 120 to 145 milliliters per minute. So suppose if the values are changing, then it shows some underlying renal damage. Okay, so like that. You have other parameters also. Instead of creatinine, we can go also with urea. Only 1 minute is left, better. Essential amino acids you told, and now
already discussed.
know. Metabolic acidosis, that means acid levels are increased in the blood, that also we know. Maple syrup, recently in previous class we have discussed.